reaching peace everywhere. You are the president of the country and the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. What measures have you put in place to ensure that we have a transparent and a violence-free election? Thank you.
My question to you, Mr. President, is that if you are voted into power in December, what interventions will you make to ensure that these individuals who have human rights and who are equal with everybody else in Ghana are able to realize their right to dignity, their right to privacy, their right to equal opportunity and employment, and also their right to health, and their right to be free from stigma and abuse? What will your 3 top interventions be? Thank you.
My name is Angela Manson. I'm 8-year-old class 4, class 5 pupils of Morning Angels International School, located at Dramani, and the Peace Ambassador for Election 2012.
Oh, that's great. So, Angela, you listened to the president today, the head of Ghana Armed Forces.
Yes.
What did you think about his delivery today?
I was happy.
You're happy?
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you wanted him to talk about which he didn't talk about?
No, he talked about all what I want.
Okay, that's nice. So, in other words, he has satisfied your needs, what
Yes.
you want, what you were expecting from him.
Yes.
He has met it.
Yes.
So, when you go to school tomorrow, what will you tell your other classmates?
I will tell them that I saw the president.
Angela, can you please tell us what the Ghana for Peace project is about?
It is everybody's duty to promote peace because Ghana wants peace.
Ghana wants peace. Fine. Angela, I want you to look straight in the camera, and this is a message you are giving to the whole Ghana for election 2012. What will be your message?
My advice for politicians is that they should advise their followers not to create violence before, during, and after this year's elections. My advice for the media is that they should not give the platform to politicians to create violence before, during, and after this year's elections. My advice for the security agencies is that they should arrest anybody who will try to foment trouble during this year's elections. My advice for the Electoral Commission is that they should conduct the election in free and fair manner. My advice for all Ghanaians is that they should be mindful of their words and actions that could create violence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela, for your time. Thank you.
My name is Nana Oyelitha, and I work with the Human Rights Advocacy Center.
What are your impressions of the president's delivery today?
Was good. I didn't like it that he read, but well, you can't avoid that. I didn't like it that he read, but it read. It was comprehensive in the sense that it covered a lot. And what I realized he did was to break it up into themes. So there was a segment on economy. He dwelt a lot on economy. It's interesting that education has become the issue because Nana Akufo-Addo has spoken extensively about it and campaigned extensively. And so he had to spend a lot of time to address education and also explain his position. There was also something on people,
a people-centered programs. So he talked about social protection and what have you. He also spoke about infrastructure, but that was like integrated throughout. One pillar of his speech was on good governance, but I don't think that good governance was addressed adequately. If I recall, he spoke about corruption, about laws, but I mean, most presidents have spoken about that, and we still have a big problem with corruption. I think one significant promise, if, for want of a better word, he has said is that he's going to look at a review of the Criminal Offences Act and broaden the definition of corruption. That would be good. But I'm looking for a president who would actually implement an anti-corruption strategy or plan. So have a whole plan that would cover all sectors of the economy, all sectors of governance, which would be an anti-corruption. So preventing corruption and addressing corruption head on. And still that is not what I'm hearing. Where we have this reflecting in all our development frameworks, our governance development frameworks. I did not hear that. I think in terms of governance to the constitutional review process was very critical. I also did not hear, what is going to happen with that. And also strengthening the state institutions like National Commission on Civic Education, Electoral Commission, and the Commission on Human Rights. I also did not hear something on access to justice. But like I'm saying, he spoke for over 1 hour, and he covered a lot of issues. So I think that he told us what it was quite ambitious. 200 secondary schools. Seems like a lot is going to be done. 200 secondary schools, one university in the eastern region, 20,000 teachers being given accommodation, 5,000 doctors being given accommodation, tertiary institutions, polytechnics being upgraded. So it's quite, I think it's quite ambitious. So, and if I compare to Nana Akufo-Addo, for education, Nana Akufo-Addo said where the money was coming from. Mm-hmm. So I'd also have wanted to hear where the money is coming from. So, and even hear something about, so how much money? Like we're going to grow, and he did talk about broadly about we're going to grow, like he talked about I think 8 and 9% GDP to be able to sustain all this, but maybe we could have more in money terms. I'd also have loved to hear something on pensions, since it's become a big issue. I think he got very critical questions. I mean, people really asked questions. That was very interesting. So yeah, I think he did well.
You asked a question about human rights, commercial workers,
yes.
gay rights.
Yes.
Do you think he did justice to your question?
Well, he skillfully avoided the issue on men who have sex with men, but he skillfully avoided that. But he spoke about about sex workers and about drug addicts. He spoke about having compassion, and all that. But I wanted him to go beyond that and talk about what his government would do. Mm-hmm. And I had even specifically said he should give me 3 top priority interventions that he would make. So I don't think my question was adequately answered.
So if I may ask, are you disappointed or you are
No,
impressed?
I'm not disappointed. I think he did well. For me, he has a grasp of the situation. He has a grasp of issues. Like if you asked questions relating to the economy, he could, so he was able to answer the questions. He had some knowledge. He was able to answer the questions, and for some of them he could tell you what his government intends to do or what they have done. And I think he was candid in some instances to talk about the challenges. So for instance, there's a question about doctors in rural areas. And I like the fact that he was candid and he said that look, this is a problem because everybody wants to be in the regional capitals. So we should look at equality in terms of equal opportunities and a fair distribution of, he didn't talk about fair distribution of wealth, but he talked about the fact that, like, to develop, the rural areas too, so that wherever you live in Ghana, it doesn't really matter. But since we haven't gotten there, it would always be a problem. So I think I liked that he was candid enough for some of the issues. He was candid enough. Yeah.
So finally, we are in an election year. If there was one message you would give to Ghanaians, what would it be?
Look at all the, and now even if you say look at the manifesto, is a problem. But just find out who can do the job. We need to move. I mean, we're looking at corruption, we're looking at the amounts of money. For me, poverty is still an issue in Ghana. Whatever any presidential candidate says, I still see poverty staring at us. So, I mean, for me, it's we need to empower ourselves and hold our governments accountable. We really need to hold our governments accountable for, like the monies that we generate, the loans that they go for, and how it is used. I don't think we as people are holding our government. People say, oh, Ghana, we have done well and everything. I think we can do much better than we're doing now. So, yes.
Thank you very much,
Oh,
Nayuli,
yes,
for your
okay.
time.
Thank you. Thank you.